Stutterbox Productions is a backbone for many of the events that you see in the Midwest, from EDM festivals to late-night hip-hop shows. This company has been working closely with this podcast since the beginning, and we always have plenty of things planned for the future. So, if you're looking to plan your next Get Gear event, head over to their Facebook page to learn more today. Oh, fuck. What's up, everybody? It's Some Cow Stars Podcast. We're doing a little lazy outdoor episode today. Because the theme of this episode is relaxation. Relaxation. Yeah, I decided to do this episode kind of on the fly while I got some time at home, away from Molly, and I just decided to kind of do this and talk a little bit about just some random things, per usual. People have already probably tuned out at this point because, you know, I get it. Like, people don't necessarily want to hear me talk. They want to hear the guests talk. And I understand that, but we're going to have me talk for a little bit. Okay. I don't even know why I have this attitude. I've been in a pissy mood the last 4 days, and now the neighbor dogs just started barking right when I started. It was quiet. It was like I came out here and it was like quiet for like a solid 5 minutes. I was like, you know what? This right before the kids are, well, it's summer. Kids aren't at school. Anyways, I'm getting off point. I haven't done one of these episodes in a while, just like out. God, these fucking dogs. See, this is what's good about you, Duke. You don't bark. But yeah, so I haven't done one of these in a while. I haven't done one of these episodes where I got out on my hammock in my shitty yard and just talked about life and talked about, you know, what's going on. So I decided to do that. Take advantage of these warm months, these surprisingly not overbearingly hot summer months, which I am happy about. I feel like with those global warming shit, it's like every other year, right? Like the Jews just turn. No, I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding. Calm your tits to all the people who have been getting offended. Calm your tits, bro. It's comedy. It's a podcast. We're trying to entertain people. I'm not starting a fucking Klan rally or anything. Like, I'm not going to talk about it too much right now. I think I might address it later. I might not. There was an episode of another podcast I was recently on, and I feel like I got kind of played a little bit on some of the humor stuff. So, and I'm not gonna talk about it. But what I do want to talk about today is I kind of just want to reflect on mental health and addiction, and kind of just relay some of the stuff I've been going through. Jesus Christ. That is a copper. I wonder if that's like a copter, but like a copper copter. So that was like loud. That was like right. Goddamn. I like saw that fucking thing. They're coming for us. They know I resined out my pipe like a crackhead 5 minutes ago. But no, I just kind of wanted to talk about mental health. Because I'm not going to lie, I've been going through it. I've been going through it these last couple months. It's been, and I think a lot of people have. I've been seeing, like, on Facebook, a lot of my friends, they've been kind of posting about not doing well. And that's kind of something that I have to, like, stop myself from doing, posting about it, because I don't know. Like, I made jokes about this on the podcast before, but, like, there's the guy who, like, cries wolf every 2 days on how he's not doing well, and then there's eventually a point where people just don't take you seriously. And I I think just posting about this kind of stuff in general is dumb. I mean, Frank, really, I'm sorry, it is. Like, now, something like here, like a podcast, like having a conversation about it, I think that's a lot different. I've always made the argument that, like, a long-form conversation is always going to be better than, like, posting something. I mean, there is utility in posting, too, but, for the most part, yeah, I think a lot of people just kind of, like, make an excuse. Not even really make an excuse. They just kind of they dramatize their life, or they portray themselves in a way where they're like always in pain, and like and that sucks. But like, there's gonna be a point where it's like, okay, you need to take some responsibility. You need to nobody's gonna make your life better. Nobody's gonna fucking make your life better. Anyways, so, I mean, I've talked about this on bonus episodes, and I've kind of mentioned it, but, like, I've struggled with pornography addiction for a long time. It's still weird to say it. I mean, really. But, I mean, since I was a child, since I was, like, 8 or 9, I've been just obsessing and struggling with this thing that's porn, and kind of everything that's around porn. Like an obsession of the female body to a point where it's objectified, and it's not even synonymous to like the person that's inside that body, right? It's like you completely separate. I feel like that kind of, that happened decades ago. I heard like a decade ago. But it's been a weird time. So last November is when I kind of came to the final realization. Well, not even then. I mean, I had been coming to the realization for probably, it's interesting. I think the moment where I really started thinking about it was when Kendrick dropped Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. As dumb as that sounds, I think that was really the moment where, because that whole album is about his struggles with sex addiction. Well, it's not all about that. It's about really everything, but that's really kind of the root of it. It's his journey and his story, reflecting on his past and all the trauma and everything that kind of led into his sex addiction. And, having affairs with his wife. And I just remember listening to that and feeling the power in it. And how much it connected with me. I mean, every song from Father Time to Mother I Sober to Mirror. I mean, like, I just... And it's interesting because obviously I didn't grow up in the background that Kendrick grew up in. Like, I didn't. Like, look at my skin. But like, there's something about Kendrick Lamar where when he raps about stuff like that, like, I can feel like I relate to that. So, when did that album come out? I think I have my phone. Maybe we could ask Siri. When did When did Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, when was that released? Okay, it's released via digital download on May 13. And that would have been last year, right? Was that this year? No, that was last year. That was a year ago? Okay, that makes sense, yeah. Yeah, because think about, because that was May. Okay, so yeah, that sounds about right. So May of last year, kind of around when the album, I think like that summer, I started really kind of thinking about it a lot more. And then, me and my partner were having problems, kind of around that. That's kind of the thing about it, is it does affect your partner. It really does affect your partner. I think a lot of people casually use pornography, or they just view it in a way where they can separate it. And look, if you can do that, all the power to you. But I've always been of the belief that that's not possible. Well, not always the belief. I've recently come to the belief that it's not possible to do that. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you are giving. I mean, I'm not even coming at this from like a religious standpoint. Just as people. I mean, there's a point where you devote your attention to something that isn't your partner that's going to affect them. I mean, both emotionally and sexually. So November is around the time that I first quit. Well, I mean, quit. I mean, I haven't masturbated since that point. I don't remember what day. Sometime in November. Early November. But so, and then I've still struggled with viewing pornography. And like, I've recently on like I think it's like week 2, where I'm like, I haven't viewed any porn, but it's hard. It's so easy. It's such a reflex to just like, when you're dealing with stress or dealing with whatever, it's such an easy reflex to just go back to that. I mean, like, I felt like it was kind of scary because I felt like I wasn't in control. Like, I felt like I was just looking at things. You know, I have all the blockers on my phone and everything too. So I mean, it was literally just like playing a game, like trying to like figure out how to pass the fucking blocker so I could view this image or view this video or whatever. And so yeah, so I mean, so I've been struggling with that, and I think a lot of that comes from trauma of my own, with my family, with my upbringing, whatever, my past relationships, whatever. I was listening to, I was listening to Andrew Huberman talk about MDMA yesterday, the day before, and he was talking about how, with MDMA, like when people are working through trauma, like it's not like I think people always kind of like think it's like you have like one singular trauma in your life, and that's not true. I mean, it's usually people that have one trauma, they have several traumas. I mean, that's just life. That's just people. I mean, and look, I'll be frank. If you're someone who only has one trauma in your life, like, you're doing pretty fucking good compared to a lot of people out there. I mean, that's kind of the thing too. Is like, I think like even like normal regular day, like quote unquote normal people who like present themselves in a semi-normal way where they can make a living, etc. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has fucking trauma, or either they have trauma or they know somebody who's gone through trauma. Like, I won't say who, but I was just talking to someone, like a family member, the other day, or my girlfriend was, and they were talking about how they had a daughter who had bipolar, or and like was hospitalized and stuff. And like, I never knew that. I was like, what? I don't know. I guess, and look, 13 minutes in, where nobody's even listening anymore. Look, I mean, I guess that's why I'm doing this podcast right now. Why I'm sitting here, why I'm trying to have these more open and honest conversations in episodes is like, because I want, I mean, especially with pornography, and I'll get to this in a second, like my quarrels with that whole debate, but like with something like pornography, I think that's something that is not really, that specifically is not really talked about. But like, I think like addiction in general isn't really talked about, and people aren't really willing to talk about like these taboos or these things that affect people. And that was part of the whole reason why I started the show in the first place, was because I wanted to be able to have open platform. I wanted to be able to give people the freedom of speech to talk about things, even if they're taboo, especially if they're taboo. Frankly, I think, you know, opening those doors, I think that's the thing that's going to, and going back to this episode, like I talked about that, like I think that's going to open the doors. If we can break down these barriers with taboos, and if we can really just like fucking put it away and just have an actual conversation, I think that's going to help a lot. So yeah, I've been struggling. I won't even lie. I've been struggling. I think a lot of people have. I think there are a lot of people in the world that struggle. Everybody knows this. Coleman, shut the fuck up. Anyways, Yeah. So specifically with the pornography debate, one of the really frustrating things that I have encountered in my search for like trying to find like professional advice or like just anecdotal like people going through it like with those problems specifically, it's extremely hard to find with it's extremely hard to find that without a religious bend to it. And as somebody who's an atheist, um, I just, I mean, I'll be frank. I get uncomfortable when I hear people talk about that kind of shit. Um, Especially like if I'm in a state where I'm trying to like relax and calm down and like help myself. Like, I'm trying to like I'm combating looking up images with like trying to find podcasts or anecdotal stories or whatever about people going through this, and then when they talk about how they find God or like how you need to find God, I start like taking the whole thing less seriously, and that's a problem. I think it's a real because I think that's growing, but I think there's a small group of people who are agnostic or atheist or just maybe not even that, but they just don't buy the whole Christianity church thing with how it's a sin or whatever, but they still recognize it's a problem. And that's and then you go to the other side of the aisle. You go to the other side of the aisle where it seems like and frankly, this is how it is. How when you turn to most people about this kind of issue, that's how most of them react. It's like it's not like what's wrong with that? What's wrong with masturbating or watching pornography? And I don't think I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I really don't. And I think that's how I want to distinguish myself from most like quote unquote sober or like ag type of people is like I don't want to condone anything that I don't do. I don't think it's wrong to do those things. I think there are things that a lot of people have a problem with that they're not willing to acknowledge. So yeah, sorry, this is a this is very distracting. I don't know why I do this thinking it's a good idea. It's a mental health day podcast, people. Okay, but anyways, I remember my point now. So it's this dichotomy that really frustrates me. Because so you look at that angle, you look at let's call it the like pro pornography, pro sexuality, whatever, or being a whore. No, no, I don't know. Just like pro porn. People say like, oh, it's fine to do it as long as you're not hurting anybody. Like, or or I guess like having consensual sex or like, and they'll even go the route of like porn prevents rape, and I mean you can maybe make the argument, but I mean it's probably a fairly decent argument, honestly. But I just don't know if it's enough of a justification for like everybody to indulge in porn. Again, not that that's bad or morally wrong. It just isn't healthy. I think that's like good and bad shouldn't be in the conversation of pornography. It should be healthy or not healthy. What's healthy? What's not healthy? I'm sure there are people who are in relationships and they both view porn together, and it really doesn't affect them. They still love each other, a lot. Then they're not thinking about other women all the time. Like I do believe that there are people that can do that, and maybe in some circumstances, maybe there's someone who, hasn't been able to like turn that on, like that sexuality on them, and maybe like porn kind of helps. I could see various scenarios where pornography use could be either unhealthy or healthy. And then going back to this other side, kind of the religious, hey, what you're doing is immoral. I have a lot of problem with that. I have a huge problem with that. First of all, the thick level of irony that is in the narrative of, oh, come pray to God to get rid of your pornography addiction. Most people, I think I haven't checked the studies in a while, but last time I checked, it was 55-45 Christianity. There are a lot of factors in that. But anyways, for the most part, usually the people who view pornography are people who grow up in a religious environment, are raised Christian. That is almost always the highest group of people who use pornography. And there's a very specific reason for that. And it's because religion, especially Christianity, inherently diminishes sexuality, diminishes sexual expression. And I don't think that's good. I think people should express themselves sexually. If you feel like you are just like a really horny person and you want to be able to go out and have several healthy, consensual sexual relationships, I don't necessarily think it's bad. I personally don't think that's the best way to go, but I don't think there's anything morally wrong with that. I mean, as long as nobody's getting hurt. And like I said, I mean, it's like the same thing I just said. Healthy, unhealthy. I think that's where the shame comes in. And for those who are familiar with like pornography addiction, you'll know that's a huge element. I mean, really in any addiction, but especially pornography, there's a huge element of shame. And religion doesn't, when you go down the route of, I'm going to pray out of me or whatever, you're not eliminating the shame. And I mean, let me rephrase that. You're increasing the shame. God, this fucking dog. What are you barking at, you stupid fucking mutt? I wish I could just yell at my neighbor's dog and not have a conflict arise. God fucking damn it. ADHD, man. The audience is screaming. You guys are pissed. If you're even still listening at 21 minutes in. Okay. Yeah, I remember my point now. So when you go down this hole, when you go down the whole Christianity route, there's always going to be shame involved. But if you look at it from like a practical scientific point where it's like, hey, really the only thing that's shameful is the fact that you are hurting your partner. Or maybe not even hurting your partner. Maybe you're not in a relationship. But you're hurting yourself. I mean, there's a level that to me is like, yeah, like somebody, I mean, it's natural and you probably should feel shameful for that. But I don't think it should be conflated to like a sin or to like being like, oh, you need to repent for this. You have this demon in you. That reminded me of the story. But yeah, so I hate the religious route. It's so unproductive. It doesn't help anybody. It just makes people feel like shit. Anyways, the reason why I'm talking about this is because there's an overwhelming amount of religion entangled with these groups. These groups are people who are advocating against pornography, or maybe not even advocating against it, just trying to help people who are overcoming that addiction. That's I should say that. I don't agree with like the protesting pornography or saying it like it's bad. I'm pretty clear on that. I don't like that. But so I just wish that there was a more level, middle ground, central place where people can have practical discussion about this. And that's why I want to talk about this more in the podcast. I might do more of these episodes where I kind of check in every month and just kind of see how people are doing. And like, look, if you're someone who is listening to this and you think you have a problem or you struggle with addiction, or maybe you're watching porn too much or drinking too much or whatever, like, shoot me a fucking message. Like, seriously, man, shoot me a fucking message. I might not get to it. No, I'll try. I don't know if I'll be like your best friend after it, but like I'll definitely share some 2 cents. Like I'm down to talk to anybody about addiction. I wish people talked about it more. I wish I could go somewhere, not have a drink, and not have it be weird, and not have to be like, not have it be like, oh, he has a problem. I don't really think I have an alcohol problem. Anyways, I mostly quit just for social reasons. But anyways, we're going on a tangent. Yeah, the demon. That kind of reminded me of a story. So when I was, this is fucked up. This just perfectly encapsulates the relationship that I have with my mother. But so I was with my ex-wife, and that relationship, we did not have very much sex, like, at all. I think it was probably less than, like, over the course of 4 years, it had to be less than 40 times. It was just not. It was just very sparse. And then when it did happen, it was like in quick submission. I mean, someone that has like BPD or like a bipolar, like, that's very common to like have like these manic and like down, depressive, and like how that all correlates. But anyways, so we were having issues, and I decided to go to my mother, to kind of just like for some comfort and like some help and guidance, and not really knowing what to do. And so we were talking, and then eventually there was a point where my mother put her hand on my knee and said, I would like to drive the demons out of you. And I left. I got up and walked out the door. This is why I have such a problem with the religion, is the people in your life who are supposed to be there for you wholeheartedly, not because they feel like they have to or their religion tells them to, but because doing things because they actually view them as good. Religion clouds that. It makes people think stupidly and all that. And when you go into something like, when you have something like pornography, like the whole reason this country has a porn problem is because of Christianity. I 100% believe that. Every time you make something taboo or create a movement against something, you then create an opposite that is 10 times stronger. You look at the war on drugs, guns, I mean, everything. Every time, I'm not even talking like politically, I'm just talking every time that there's a force that goes against that, people are going to rebel. People are going to create a black market, and they're going to do things that, are in the norm. Do things that are against the norm, I should say. Whew. So anyways, that's a pornography addiction for 30 minutes. I hope you guys all appreciated that. I haven't done one of these. Sorry, guys. I haven't done one of these in a hot minute. I might. I don't know. Should I wrap it up? If I'm asking, I should wrap it up, right? If I'm asking, that means the audience has checked out. I did kind of want to talk about the whole autism thing with Iowa trying to like put it on the driver's licenses, which I think is really fucked up. But I don't really want to talk about that. I won't even lie. I was going to, but like I don't know. I don't have the energy for it. I've been kind of just docile. And working through some shit. That's really what I've been doing. I decided not to go. I'm done with shows for the foreseeable future. I'm going to Fall Out Boy with the girl and with the lady Molly in a few weeks, but that's coming up. That's like in a week and a half. Fuck. I have to make some edibles for that. But yeah, besides that, I'm kind of just, I I'm trying to step back and take some time for me. So after this episode, I'm going to take at least a 2-week break, possibly longer, depending on how easy it is to get episodes. In that time, I'm taking like a legit vacation for a week off work and everything. So that includes the podcast. Sorry, guys. Honestly, I find that like the podcast never does as well in the summer anyways, oddly enough. It's weird because like I feel like that's when people are the busiest and most in town and most down to like do interviews and stuff, but like that's also kind of why it does worse because like everybody's out. What if I just became a hack and just went ham for like 3 months, just like record an episode every fucking day for like 3 months, and then, like that's my year. It's like like I could be like a crab fisher, just make all my money and fucking. I always thought that'd be so awesome, just making all of your money in like 2 months and then just doing the rest. Not 2 months, more like I don't think anybody could do that. If you can do that, you're a boss. You are a fucking boss. If you can only work 2 months out of the year and fucking just make your living like that, that's goddamn. There's a small group of people can do that. Okay, guys, the Kyle Stars podcast. You know it. You love it. I kind of hate the fact. Actually, I really hate the fact that I talked about just porn addiction for 30 minutes. I kind of fucking. That wasn't really the intention of the episode. It was really just to like kind of just talk about. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't know. It's been on my mind. I guess like a small tangent before we wrap up. Something that I've been really struggling with, and I saw one of the homies post about this yesterday, and this is something I've been reflecting on a lot, is loving yourself. And how hard that fucking is to do. How hard that is to do. I have always been somebody who has hated themselves. I hating my embodiment, hating like the fact I'm autistic and like have issues with that, hating the fact that like I seemingly can't get a real job. There's a lot of things about myself that I just hate. I know there are a lot of people that love me for who I am, but I just don't. And I think there are a lot of people who are like that. And I've been realizing that more and more and more. I'm kind of at the point now where I just want to start asking people, like, do you love yourself? But like, look, here's the problem. Not even a problem. I wouldn't even say it's a problem. I never want to go down like the Kanye rabbit hole, right? I never want to be like, and I know that's an extreme, but when you see so many people who are seemingly obsessed with themselves, it's such a deterrent for me to give myself any credit. The fact that we're going to like 2 episodes or about to be hitting episode 200. Like sometimes I just don't give a shit. You know what I mean? It's fucking, I don't know. There's just something about it it's hard, man. It's hard to wrap your head around fucking trying to, wrap your head around trying to like love yourself. It's weird. Guys, this is like the last fucking episode I'm gonna record for like 2 weeks probably. Hopefully. That'd be awesome. Maybe I'll do some movie review episodes of Molly or something. I kind of doubt it. I feel like that project's kind of dead, but we got a couple of record technically. It could happen. We'll see. Guys, every Monday and Thursday at 7 p.m. I think I already said that, but there it is again. Except for the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks we're taking a break. But check us out on Patreon. We got exclusive content there. I keep fucking... The Patreon is where I fuck up every time because I got hundreds of millions of patrons. No, I mean I got a small community of people, but like it's hard. When you see like 0 views over and over and over and over again, it's kind of hard to fucking put in the time. But yeah. So check us out on all our socials and all that bullshit. All right. Adios, motherfuckers. Peace.